Okay, we're going to try to get through these quick. We have two more entries to go in the HAMMERFALL Grifball Court contest, co-hosted by Forge Hub and Grifball Hub. I have to get through these pretty quick because I've caught a cold and I'm losing my voice, so I want to try to get them all done and get the second round down. Excuse me, get the second run down before I completely lose my voice. So I'm going to try to get those done today, and I'm also going to try to live stream them if possible, if my stream holds up. We'll see. Anyhow, a lot fewer people in the house using the internet now with everyone gone home from Christmas break. So hopefully that won't mess up my internet. All right, here we go. This is Mbaraki District by Uncommon Future, also known as Rihanna Storm. And this, I believe, just from the screenshots, I haven't actually looked up yet. And it is, this map is, here, let me pop a hole in the ceiling and come up top, way up top, way up top. Oh, kill volume. This map is built on Eden, or I should say outside of Eden. Let me see if I can spot where the, okay, this is right above Eden, I believe. No, there's Eden up there. Oh, all kinds of weird kill volumes out here. We actually have a template outside of Eden, but it's not in this location, so she's gonna made this all herself. Our template location is about the height of that building, and then the same height again, and over towards that building there. So right in that area, that's where our template is. So she's gone and made one right close to the ground, which is cool because that way you can see, like, that's the building that Eden is situated on, and that really helps with the immersion on her court. That's really cool. This is obviously set in Mbaraki District in from the one of the areas in the ODST game. And she seems to have captured that quite well, including these that you see all through the campaign. And these are an actual forged piece now. She didn't have to make that. So that is pretty cool. Got the superintendent on each end. And from the screenshots I saw, I think, I'm not sure if they're scripted or what happens, but the screenshots, there we go. Aha, there it is. Yeah, so she got a bit of scripting going on here. Also looks like, I'm not sure what the story is behind these, but I think she's used, my guess is she's used the template, but also had one of her own down. Anyhow, that just you'll have to clean that up. Obviously, can't be having two goals unless you want two at the other end. I guess, I don't know. Now we have had courts that have had multiple goals stacked up, so that's not an unusual thing. The problem is players can't run through them. So that's yeah, that's just something you've missed. That's an easy fix. But I want to go see what the other one looks like when you approach it. Does it do the same thing? Does it wink at you? What does this one do? This one doesn't appear to do anything. Oh, maybe it's just because I'm on the red team. There we go. So it gives you a bit of a warning if there is an enemy in your goal circle. See that? There's a very clever use of scripting that doesn't affect gameplay, but it does affect immersion, which is kind of cool to see. So anyhow, those are aesthetic details. I have to pry myself away from looking at the aesthetic details of the map. I should be looking solely at the technical side of the court, but that's just way too cool. You see, I should probably go through these courts off camera before I start recording them, just so I can get that the cool factor You know what I mean? How the maps look out of the way first. Now these are 128. Yeah, she's used cubes on the side and cubes on the end and a flat ceiling. The floor looks to be pretty smooth. Yeah, the floor looks fine from what I've seen. A tiny bit of a bump here. Let me just visualize that for you right here. Let me see if I can see that. No, that's weird. I can't even see it, but I can feel it when I roll the monitor over it. Yeah, that's probably not enough to worry about. Well, what I would do is in-game, this spot right here, just mark that spot right here, right between these two lights, at the edge of the field, the grass field there. Just, oh sorry, it's right there. Just slide around on this location, just to make sure that this bump here doesn't kick you out of a slide. It's an extremely minor bump, but usually if you can feel it in monitor, well, you know what? No, I can't feel it. That's the weirdest thing. Never mind. It's so minor. I wouldn't worry about it. So minor. Definitely wouldn't worry about it. Spawns on court. All right. Let's make sure the. Oh, wait a second. Select all of. Change the spawn order to order 0 on the initial spawns. Okay. Spawn order 0. So there's a note to make. Is that a functioning scoreboard? Because I see script brains here, so that would be cool. That's not part of what I'm doing now, but that's cool that that if you have a scoreboard. But here's the thing. You might need to test it a bit more. You have to ensure that your scoreboard works in a multi-round variant. Okay. It's a part of this contest that we've stated, and this is one of the reasons I stated it. Oh, here it goes. One of the reasons I stated it is because I figured people would start putting fancy scripts in. So one of the objectives of the guidelines, I don't know, whatever the rules of the contest are that your court must function properly with the matchmaking Grifball variant and the Grifball League variant, which is a multi-round Grifball variant. Okay, so very important that your if this scoreboard is part of the map and it does function, you have to make sure that it also functions in a multi-round variant, which might mean that the colors would have to swap as well as the score. So I don't know if you programmed that into it, but if you have to keep in mind that red team is going to spawn in round 2. This is red team here. In round 2, red team is going to spawn on blue side in round 2. So you either switch the sides per round of which is on which, or just switch the red and the blue blocker. So as I said, I don't know if you've already done that or already thought of that, but just make sure. You don't have to worry about the court decorations like the red and the blue here. Grifball players understand that every second round they're spawning on the enemy side. That's normal. So you don't have to worry about switching these scripts around unless you really feel like it. But make sure that your scoreboard, if that indeed is a functioning scoreboard, make sure that it works in the single round variant and in the multi-round variant. Now, this one thing is a bit of concern is that, and this is right in the guideline as well, is that if your court has a wall, players are going to expect to be able to jump onto it. Okay? So I'll leave this up to you. Even though it's just one side. Yeah, you see, it's like a wall hop. Actually, the league wall hop ledges are about the same height as that. So the only concern I have is that players, well, they can jump almost twice as high in the matchmaking variant that you can in Forge mode. So that would be a height that is obtainable in the game type. Players, if they see a wall, they're going to expect to be able to clamber on it or jump off of it. So I would almost suggest that I'll leave this up to you though, because it isn't symmetrical. If you want, you can pop this out so that becomes a clamber ledge up there, and test that in the Grifball game type, because you may not have to lower it, as I said, because you can jump a whole lot higher in the Grifball game type. But if you want, you can bring these walls out a bit and make them clamberable, or just leave them. Yeah, I like, as I say, it's unfortunate they're at the exact height that you can jump at. If they looked higher, it wouldn't be a problem. But as I said, if a Grifball player sees a wall, they're going to expect to be able to jump on it and clamber on it or off of it. Perhaps you could do, I don't know, this is a suggestion, but yeah, I'm just trying to think of what you could do. Okay, here's what you could do. You could put a, this is just an example, example of a suggestion. You could actually put a sill out on there that wouldn't really take away from the decoration or the look of it. I'll just give you a little idea here. 64 by 2. Something like that, and that way the players do have something they can run along or jump off of. Maybe stick it out a little bit more so it's clamberable. And you can like wrap that around so the design fits in with the rest of it. Or just... Okay, you get what I mean? You aren't adding that much to it, but you're definitely giving them visually. You're saying yes, you can jump on that, or you can clamber on that. The only thing you would have to do is then I don't know if I can duplicate this in this room. Oh, I can. Look at that. The only thing you would have to do is move this entire structure out back just a little bit, so that bar now lines up with the edge of the court. And in that case, you would do this so that players down here won't bump their head on it if they jump along here. So that's something you can do with this. As I said, I'll leave that up to you. It's just, in my opinion, Grifball players, if they see a ledge, they're going to want to jump off of it or clamber on it or whatever. And if they see a ledge, they're going to be trying to jump on it. And... so anyhow, that's my suggestion. You don't have to do it anywhere else because you don't have, yeah, I wouldn't worry about it back here either. But as I say, just that ledge there, players are going to be expecting to be able to jump off that, and they do a double jump or a double jump and into a hammer jump, which gets them like double jump into a hammer jump, gets them about this high up, and then they have a very wide range of that was a weird glitch there. Really wide range of ground pound from there. So that's a suggestion. It was good that you have these here that denote the edge of the court, because that's important. You can't leave an open space like that, so that was good doing that. Same as with this area here. The edges of your court are very clearly marked. Even though they aren't clearly marked, the player knows exactly where they are, and that's what's important. This... oh, I see. These pieces here, I just want to see how far back they can go before they become perches. Not very. Oh, right, I had magnets turned on. Okay. So these walls can be pushed back just that much right there. Just until these pieces peek through. Okay? Just so that these aren't perches. So that gives you just a little bit more room there. Yeah, I was going to say that's a pretty striking wall. I don't think you'd want to change that up, like to make it straighten it up again. But no, that's fine the way it is. Just move that just because you see that way players when they're going along the wall, that looks like they're getting closer to it rather than here where they're further away. So it's a very minor adjustment, but yeah, you can go ahead and do that too. I think that's it. Everything else looks good. No solid pieces of lumber sticking up through the plants, so that's good there. I did not notice any frame rate in forge mode, so that would indicate no frame rate in game mode. The only issue is lighting, because we're on one of the dev maps, not a canvas, and you see this. It's like a spotlight is following me. Straight out right where my reticle is. So I don't know if you can see that in the video, but that's just there. You can see it right here. You see, it looks like I'm standing in a lighting block. Now that may change in game. I don't know. I haven't played a game on this yet, but I'm really dying to see how the scoreboard works. But we won't. I don't think I'll hold that against you. I'm not sure what the other judges think about building off the lighting. But then again, we put Kickin' Ass Emos' Scorched Guardians, and it was on a developer a dev map, not a canvas as well, and it had the same kind of lighting glitch. So it's a court like this has made it into matchmaking. So I wouldn't hold it against you. As I said, I don't know about the other judges, but I wouldn't hold it against you. Besides, it's an absolutely lovely canvas, and you've done a good job immersing the player into it. So yeah, good job. So technically, make those changes I mentioned. Make sure your scoreboard either switches sides, or that the right color is always indicated on the right team, and make sure that it keeps goals. Make sure that it keeps score in a multi-round game variant. So I don't know if it'll work fine, or if you've tested it. I don't know the story behind this map yet. But test it in an actual game and play to 9 rounds, so that each team scores 4 times, and then a 5th one to win. And make sure that scoreboard works with it. Like as I said, it doesn't have to be on the right side. It just has to have the correct color underneath the team's score. So just make sure all that works. All right, that's it for this one. Thank you.